all of you to please come closer to the stage. The TV is, this area is actually the stage. I would like to invite you all to come closer. There are a lot of seats in front. Hare Krishna, Pranav Prabhu. Yeah, you can just walk up. It's okay. There are many people, other people coming in, so they can take over the seats at the back. Thank you. I'll request all the devotees, people sitting on the benches to please come here, unless there is a problem, of course. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Thank you for coming. We'll just wait for a couple of more minutes. There are few devotees who are serving in the kitchen, preparing delicious prasadam for all of us. So they are tirelessly working since noon in kitchen downstairs. So we have requested a devotee to call all of them upstairs. So we'll just give them a couple of minutes. Thank you for your patience. Hare Krishna. Thank you for patiently waiting. We have the devotees who we were waiting for come up here. They have joined us. Thank you all for your selfless service in cooking the feast for all of us today. So, dear friends, today we are very fortunate to have a very special guest amongst us who has dedicated his life to discipline, to leadership, community care, and community building. So our speaker, His Grace Nitai Prabhu, began his professional career as a software developer in a consulting. He worked in banking sector, and then in 1998, very close to my birth year, I'll not reveal what my birth year is, of course, but in 1998, he got this calling within himself that he wanted to do better for the society and for the world. So he joined a monastery, Iskcon temple, as a monk for a decade. And he was deeply involved in teaching and training people in spiritual life. Then, after a decade of being a monk, he took up a very senior position as a leader in Iskcon London, which is still one of the most dynamic community amongst all the Iskcon centers throughout the world. So he led Iskcon London for 14 years and made the community loving, caring, and fostered the sentiment of care amongst the devotees in London, of course. For the past few years, actually in the past 1 year, I believe, Prabhu moved to New York with his wife, and now he's serving in the projects like Bhakti Center, 26 2nd Avenue, where he is again fostering the sentiment of care amongst the devotee in the community and making the communities more stronger. So we have a lot to learn from Prabhu because of his experience in leadership position in companies and corporates, in financial sector, as well as being a spiritual guru for many communities throughout the world. Today, his topic, Lessons from Srila Prabhupada's Life, is actually very important for us to understand. So, you see Srila Prabhupada over here, he's no ordinary saint. You must have heard about many saints, but he's no ordinary saint. He has established Iskcon movement, which is right now throughout the world. Wherever you go, there is Iskcon temple. I went to Hawaii with my wife last month, and there are 2 temples over there, flourishing, teaching people about spirituality, how to live their life, right? How can a person living in Hawaii know about Krishna? Because of saints like Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada traveled to United States when he was 69 years old. Can you imagine? Have you seen a person of that age? My grandfather was of that age, and he had issues with his knees, with his diet, etc. And he cannot actually move out of the house. But Srila Prabhupada traveled from India to the United States to establish a mission which is currently throughout the world and inspiring so many individuals like you and me. So with a very warm heart and a grateful heart, of course, I would like to welcome His Grace Nitai Prabhu to take over the stage and lead us into the session to know more about Srila Prabhupada. Let's chant 3 loud Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. It's very difficult to start after an introduction like that, don't you think? So it's nice to see you all. Is this for me?
Yes.
So it is a great honor and pleasure to be here with all of you this evening. As Sankirtan Acharya Prabhu was explaining, I've done service in other areas, just recently come back to New York. I am originally from the States, but I lived for 30 years in London and did lots of different service across Europe. So it's wonderful to be back here in the US. Just curious, how many of you are here for the very first time? Anyone here for the first time? Okay. Anyone for the second time? Anyone for the third time? Okay, so it's only my first time here for this program. So you can see, after you been here 3 times, you get to give the talk also. You ready? Okay. So, I would like to start with some prayers. It's very beneficial for us to begin anything with an invocation, to invoke auspiciousness. And one of Srila Prabhupada's glorious disciples, her name is Jamuna Devi. We were with her in London, and she explained to us once that she was with Srila Prabhupada, and he was sharing that if you chant these prayers before you begin anything, and if you chant them with a sincere heart, then Krishna will hear you, and he will help you. So if you know these prayers, you can join, and if not, you can meditate on the transcendental sound vibration. Om Gyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumilitangena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Gena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurun Shri Yuta Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavanishwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So just wondering, do all of you know each other? Everyone here knows each other? No? I didn't ask you, Sankirtan. Do you know everyone? So we're going to do something first to start with, which is called an icebreaker. Who here likes icebreakers? Nobody likes icebreakers. At least that's what they say in the beginning. And as soon as it comes up on the screen, everybody goes, oh my God, maybe this means I have to talk to somebody else, right? And everyone's like, I don't want to talk to anyone. The thing I've seen fail none is once people start talking about themselves, the hardest part isn't to get them to break the ice. The hardest part is to get them to stop talking about themselves, right? So anyway, we're going to get you to do this now. And we're doing things in fives tonight. So someone tell me a number between 1 and 5. You choose it. 5. Who said that? Okay, number 5 it is. Okay. So first thing I want you to do is turn to someone that you don't know. Okay, so often what's happening is you two probably know each other, right? Yeah. You can always tell couples are sitting. You two know each other? Yeah. So you can't talk to each other, okay? You got plenty of time to do that another time. So you have to turn to someone else that you don't know, preferably, okay? And don't pretend, because Super Soul's in my heart and he will tell me. All right? Okay. So basically what I would like you to do first is turn to the person you don't know and introduce yourself. Just say, my name is such and such. Then I would like you to say why you decided to come tonight. Very quick. Don't write a whole book. Don't give a whole purport or essay. Just very briefly, I decided to come tonight because someone forced me. Someone told me if I didn't come, or because I came for prasadam. Right? And that's a bona fide answer. That's why I came the first time, so no problem. Then the last thing that I would like you to do, and our gentleman at the back said that he wanted number 5, right? So I have 5 questions that you could speak to. So number 5 is, what is the best piece of advice you have ever given someone? Did everyone catch that? What was it?
What was the best advice you ever gave to someone?
Perfect. So we're going to give you 5 minutes, okay? So don't forget, if you're the one talking, at some point you have to stop and let the other person talk, okay? You've heard this saying, we have 2 of these and 1 of these, so we should listen twice as much as we. It never happens, but at least we can try, right? Okay, so ready? Find someone you don't know, introduce yourself, why you came tonight, and what was the best piece of advice you've ever given someone? Okay, ready? Go. Okay, Hare Krishna, have you had a chance to let the other person share yet? Anyone needs a little more time? Okay. We'll just give you 1 more minute to conclude. Okay, just 30 more seconds. Something happened to the TV. I don't think I did it. Okay, that's it. Thank you very much. As I said, it's very difficult to get everyone to stop talking. Did you speak to anyone? You did, for sure? Okay. Okay, so I'm having a really tough time in life at the moment. I need some good advice. Someone can tell me what was the best advice the person you spoke to. If I could have everyone's attention back. See what I said? Look, there's people still talking here. And I'm sure one of them raised their hand at the beginning and said they didn't want to do this, right? Someone can share with me the person that they spoke to? You wanted to? What's his name? Do you know him?
Yes, I know him.
But did you speak to him during the session? But you were supposed to find someone you didn't know.
No.
You just met. So now you know him. Okay. What is his name?
His name is Pranav.
Pranam. Okay. Yes. And what was the good advice that he gave?
His advice is don't ignore AI.
Don't ignore AI. Okay. That sounds like some artificial intelligence talking. Okay, don't ignore AI. Okay, very good. Someone else would like to share? One of the ladies? We have some ladies here also. She raised her hand eagerly.
Hi.
Hey. And can you share the name of the person you spoke to?
Yes. Poonam.
Purnam. Okay, Purnam. And what advice did she give?
So she told that career doesn't define success. Success is a mentality.
Career does not define success. Success is a mentality. Okay, who likes that advice? I saw a few people going, yeah, I like that. Okay, Purnam, you're giving the talk next week, okay? Okay, last person, one more. Maybe someone in the back. Because we know you sat in the back so that no one would select you or pick you. And it's not Arjuna Nand. He's always given the best advice.
Prabhu, Arjunanand Prabhu has given the best advice that is 100% true. And the same advice I gave it to my roommate once. And the advice was that once you start looking inside, that things are not so good. So once you start praying to Krishna, you will see those things getting cleared, and you will see that you are not the best person that you were thinking you were. So slowly and steadily, you will see you have doubts, you have faults, and slowly and steadily, you will see that the dust is being cleared from your mind, and then you will start to improve.
That sounds like some amazing advice. Sounds like you're ready to
That's
give
from
Bhagavatam
Arjunanand
class.
Prabhu only.
Okay, big round of applause for all of you, for yourselves, for opening up. So I think we've broken the ice a little bit. So now the next question for all of you is, how many of you here, please raise your hand, are familiar with this person? Raise your hand. How many of you here are not familiar with this personality? Raise your hands high, it's okay, no problem. I only just learned about him today when I was preparing the class, so. And who here, those of you who are familiar, how many of you feel like you could really speak quite a lot about this person? Okay, only a few. Okay, so we're going to discuss Srila Prabhupada today. And those of you who know a little bit about Srila Prabhupada, I'd like to hear from you. What do you think is a quality that inspires you or impresses you about Srila Prabhupada? Yeah.
One thing I learned from Prabhupada is he doesn't have a fear by himself.
He doesn't have a fear?
Yep.
He's not afraid.
No.
He's fearless.
Yes.
And you know his name?
Yeah, Bhakti Siddhanta Srila Abai.
Abai.
Oh, no.
And you know what Abai means?
No.
It means fearless.
Oh, fears.
So very good. You didn't even know that and you got it right. Big round of applause. Haribol! And this gentleman here. Someone, yeah.
The thing I like in Srila Prabhupada is he exactly does what he speaks.
He did what?
He follows what he preaches.
He acted as he spoke.
Yeah.
So he did what he said he would do. Yes, he's a man of integrity, and as someone at the front said, he also is known as the founder Acharya. And Acharya means one who follows what he speaks or lives by his example, right? Lives what he teaches. Beautiful. One more, anyone would like to share? Okay.
Jai Srila Prabhupada, his favorite quality is very merciful. Even the people who he touched lives, they were so fallen, but he never cared about it. He was so merciful that he still believed in them that they will improve their lives with the Krishna consciousness.
Very nice. He was merciful and kind to everyone, no matter what their background was or what their situation was. Very nice. Okay, beautiful quality. So it sounds like a few of us know about Srila Prabhupada. So we're going to discuss a little bit today about the success of Srila Prabhupada. So as some of you may know, Srila Prabhupada came to the West from India, as we heard earlier, at the ripe age of 69, traveling on a cargo ship, not even meant for human passage. He was alone and he was penniless. It's often described. He was penniless. He hardly had any money whatsoever to his name. But the thing is, he was not poor. He may not have had money, but that didn't mean that he was poor. In fact, he was wealthy beyond belief. He was extremely rich. He came, the first time that he went to London, a reporter asked him at the airport, "Swami, why have you come here?" The first time he said, "I have come to teach you what you have forgotten. I have come to teach you what you have forgotten." The second time he came into London, a different reporter asked him, "Swamiji, why have you come here?" That time he was a little more bold. He said, "You Britishers, you came to India and you took so much, but you left the most valuable thing behind. So I have come here to give that to you for free." And that is the knowledge from the Vedic scriptures. That is Krishna consciousness. So Srila Prabhupada was wealthy beyond belief, even though he may have seemed like a vagabond or a poor person. So, we all know that we may come from a background where it may look a certain way, we may not have all the things, and often we're coming aspiring for something, right? Many of you are, I would assume, how many of you are from America? Okay, so only a few. So most of you have come from somewhere else, but you come to America, you came to America for a reason, right? Raise your hand if you came here for a reason or for a purpose. I imagine no one just woke up one day on a plane heading for America, right? And I bet none of you came on a cargo ship. Did anyone come on a cargo ship? No. Okay, like that. So, Srila Prabhupada, as you can see here, he came without anything, and he came for a different kind of reason. Many of us come for a reason. I'd like for you to take a moment now to think about the reason why you came here, or the reason why I went to London, or the reason why we may go anywhere, right? We usually do things with a purpose, right? Most of you are probably not aimless in your activities, correct? You have some reason for doing what you're doing. You have some purpose. Maybe you wish you had a higher purpose, or maybe you wish you had a different purpose, but we all have some kind of purpose like that. So Srila Prabhupada came to the West on the cargo ship, seemingly penniless. And my question to you is, what do you think are the two main reasons why someone would do what he did? Do you know how long he stayed on the cargo ship? 20 days. Yeah, it was 38 days. 38 days on a ship. This wasn't a luxury ship. It was a ship that was meant for cargo, not even meant for human passage. 38 days he stayed on the ship. So what do you think, what would you say is the main reason why someone would do what he did? Be honest. What do you think?
He believed in the mission.
He believed in the mission, yes. Why do most people do what they do in life? Why do most people get out of bed in the morning? Be honest, what do you think? Most people, why do they get out of bed in the morning? Yes?
Duty?
Duty. I wish. I doubt if most people get out of bed in the morning for duty. What do you think? I think most people do what they do for money. Yes? Would you agree? You think you came here maybe with a little bit of inspiration for this? Yes. Let's be honest about the facts. Most of us are dedicated primarily to money. We will work very hard. I used to go to work. I used to work in the corporate sector. I would fill up my timesheet on Monday for the invoice I was turning in on Friday, just to see how many hours I could work to get the bottom line number. I wasn't there out of duty. I was there to make money, because money is the honey, right? And the more money, the more sweet life comes. So people will undergo immense austerity just to get money, correct? And people stow away on boats, people hide on planes, people do all kinds of crazy stuff just to be able to have a chance to make some money. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying money is wrong or bad, but this is a primary motive for most people. What do you think another motive might be? What else will people do almost anything for? Fame? Okay, that's a good answer. I thought it was this. Love. Yes? If you really love someone, whether it's a partner or whether it's a child, right? Whether it's a family member, if there's some love there, you'll do almost anything for that person, right? Who feels like that? You would do something out of love. Someone you love, you would do almost anything. These are motivating factors for us in life. But there's a third. Sometimes people do stuff they don't want to do because of force. So my wife is Gujarati. Her family is from Africa originally. They only left Africa. They had a very comfortable position in Uganda, Kampala. They only left because they were forced to leave. And then her father, my father-in-law, was a professor in university, and then he had to come to London and became an admin person for the British Rail. And he did that for many years. He took a much lower position. But he did these things by force. There's a fourth one, and this is where Srila Prabhupada comes in. And someone mentioned it. He had simply purity of mission. He did not come, where is that little thing? Can you see that? No, it doesn't work on the screen. He didn't come for money. He didn't come for love. He didn't have anyone on the other side of the ocean that he loved. You know that word, love? Love, you know? And he wasn't forced. He wasn't forced to come. In fact, he was begging to come. And the only thing that was driving Srila Prabhupada was the purity of his mission, the purity of his purpose, and what he felt his purpose in life was. And this is very important because once we are able to understand what we feel that our true purpose in life is, we will do almost anything to fulfill that. And this is how people become successful, because they're very clear about what their purpose in life is. They seem to identify or understand, what is my mission? What am I meant to be doing here? Anyone here has ever wondered? I wonder this all the time. Walking the streets of New York earlier today, my wife and I said, what are we doing here? I have to be honest. New York is not the best place on the planet. Prabhupada called London hell, but I don't know what planet New York is. It's definitely lower than the London hell. It's pretty despicable in certain places. And I was thinking, what are we doing here? But we're clear why we're here. We have a specific mission. We have a purpose. Therefore, we're here. So Srila Prabhupada falling into this category of purity of mission. So these are some very important points. Part of his mission, he had firm faith in the order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that the holy name of Krishna would be spread to every town and village. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said this 530 plus years ago in the middle of West Bengal, where there was hardly anyone. India was subjugated by the British, but he made this statement, not at that time, but he made this statement that in every town and village, the chanting of the holy names would resonate. The people who heard this thought, every town and village? Across the whole world? Impossible. It could never happen. They thought maybe Lord Chaitanya meant just in India. Maybe just in India. But Chaitanya also made a statement that actually it is the duty of the people of India to fulfill this mission, that actually the holy name is going to be spread by people who have faith in the holy name. And of course, Srila Prabhupada had that faith. Now, Srila Prabhupada was also very special because Srila Prabhupada was predicted in the Shastra to come and deliver the people who tried to escape from Lord Chaitanya. He is known as the Senapati Bhakta. Anyone knows what Senapati means? Huh? Oh, chief of army. Beautiful. I love that. Yes. Chief of the army, commander of the army. The Sena, the army, Pati, the commander-in-chief. And Bhakta means devotee. So Lord Chaitanya said, I am going to send my commander-in-chief specifically to fulfill this mission. And then we have to say, well, who is that person? And that person is clearly Srila Prabhupada, because he spread the chanting of the holy name literally to every town and village. I guarantee you there are hardly any places that you can go where people don't, well, of course there are still some places, actually. But every major city of the world has a Rath Yatra festival. I think next weekend there's a Rath Yatra festival in Philadelphia. Every major city of the world, they have festivals, there are devotees, there are temples, so like that. So Srila Prabhupada is such an amazing role model for anyone who wants to be. Who here would like to be successful in life? My understanding is you're all young professionals, students or working? Who's a student? Okay. Who's working? Okay. Who wishes they weren't working? Okay. So Srila Prabhupada is a role model. Actually, it's incredible when we think about all the different roles that Srila Prabhupada played. I wrote down just a few. He was a leader. He was a manager. Manager is different from a leader. He was a writer. He was an influencer. From the very first time that he came in Butler, Pennsylvania, immediately the newspapers came to him and he spoke to them and he said, I am an ambassador of bhakti. Srila Prabhupada, from the moment he came, he was in newspapers. He was creating headlines. He was a counselor. He was regularly speaking and trying to help others. He was a priest. He was getting people married. He was giving initiation. He was a teacher, an educator, a guru, a cook. He was cooking, like we heard there were some devotees down in the kitchen cooking the feast. In the early days, Srila Prabhupada would cook everything. He would have a gathering at least this big, and he would cook everything for everyone. He would come and he would serve it, and then guess what everyone would do? They would eat, and then they would leave. And he would clean everything up, take all the vessels away, and he would wash and clean everything up. So he was also a menial servant. And of course, he was an entrepreneur. Srila Prabhupada started an international society. He started a publishing company. He started restaurants. He started farm communities, gurukuls, goshalas. What else? He started so many different businesses. But his purpose in coming to America was not business, if that makes sense. He wasn't here to make money. So, when I started to do this, I had a list. I had a list of something like 25 or 26 different qualities that just came off the top of my head that I thought deemed Srila Prabhupada, how he became so successful. And then I thought, they only gave me a little bit of time, so I can't really talk about all of them. But I just wanted to list a few here. First one is that Srila Prabhupada was determined. How many of you here feel like do you know what, we'll discuss it a little more. Who here feels determined? Yes? Good. Raise your hand. Who here finds it hard to be determined? Who here finds it hard to get out of bed in the morning? Right. That's the first sign. It's difficult to be determined if you can't even get out of bed. He was focused, and they're different. Who here finds focusing on something very difficult? Like right now, you're thinking, when are we going to eat? When is this bald-headed guy going to stop talking? And when are we going to eat? Why don't we have another icebreaker, right? The mind is thinking right now. I'd like to talk to my friend. Clarity of purpose, right? We mentioned this already. He had such a clear understanding of what his mission was. Again, anyone here find that this is a difficult thing? Who here is not really clear? Like, I know I'm here, but I'm not really sure why or what I'm really going to do. Anyone feels like that? Yeah, be honest. It's also really important that we're honest. Srila Prabhupada was non-judgmental. Someone mentioned merciful earlier. Srila Prabhupada was so merciful, and he was not judgmental. This is a really important one. And then the last one on here was that Srila Prabhupada was humble, which in circuits of being successful, you will hardly ever hear a success guru say that humility is a key or a secret to being successful. But it was actually one of Srila Prabhupada's most profound success secrets or keys like that. So, the first one is that he's determined. So I found this definition. Would someone like to read this definition?
Determined is the quality that you show when you have decided to do something and you will not let anything stop you.
Who here finds that they get stopped easily? Yeah? You know, the first little thing that gets in the way, I have it's like, oh, why did that happen? Maybe it's a sign. Maybe it's a sign I shouldn't do it. Maybe I should give up, right? Maybe I should go back. You should know that Srila Prabhupada, he came on the Jaladuta and he used to go down to the harbor and he would see the Jaladuta, and sometimes he would think, maybe I should go back. Maybe I should go back to India. So it's not that sometimes we don't have doubts, or we don't wonder, or we don't think, or we don't want to give up, but he was so dedicated that he would not get stopped. Srila Prabhupada, if you ever get a chance to read through the letters that Srila Prabhupada was writing, he probably wrote to every prominent person in India. He wrote to so many of his godbrothers who were in India. He was approaching people all the time, and so often people would say, no. You know, often we're afraid to ask someone for something because we're afraid they're going to say no. There's one senior devotee named Vaisheshika Prabhu. He mentions that actually it's okay if people say no, because at least you become clear that they are a no. But we have to have faith that someone is a yes. And then you just keep asking until someone becomes a yes. And that means I am determined. Kind of a side topic, there's one famous film and person. He wrote a script for a movie, and he wanted to be the star of the movie. The movie companies liked the script, but they didn't want him to have any part of it. But he was determined that both had to go together. And eventually he made the movie, he was the star of the movie, and then he made like 5 or 6 sequels to the movie and became probably one of the most famous people. Thomas Edison, you know who Thomas Edison is? What did he invent? Yeah, the electric bulb. How many times did he try? 10,000, supposedly. Can you imagine if at 9,998 he said, forget it? We would be sitting in the dark right now. So we have to be determined. Srila Prabhupada was so determined, he had 2 heart attacks on the boat coming to America. He wrote in his diary, actually if you look, we have his original diary, and you see on one of the pages there's nothing but a squiggly line that goes down the page because he was writing and he had a heart attack. And he wrote afterwards, if I have another one, I will definitely die. He literally almost died, but he still came. At Boston Harbor, when he first saw the skyline of Boston of America, you know, that sight, wow, America. He was praying. He wrote this amazing poem called Markandeya Bhagavad Dharma, and he was saying, I have no idea, Krishna, why you have brought me here. How will these people even understand me? Prabhupada was from Calcutta. He had a Bengali accent. He thought they won't understand me. What I'm trying to teach them, they will not accept it. But he was still determined. Focused. Someone else would like to read?
Focused, having or showing a clear and definite purpose, definite person.
We can see here, what is Srila Prabhupada focusing on right now? I put this picture in specifically to keep you all focused. Okay. So, Srila Prabhupada understood that prasadam means mercy, means the mercy of the Lord. It's explained that when Srila Prabhupada used to take prasadam, if he was in meeting with other people, his chosen way to take prasad was sitting in the corner facing the wall. And he would take prasad and he would honor prasad. He didn't eat prasad. He didn't, shove it down. He honored it. Every bite focused on understanding and remembering that actually this is the mercy of God. This is Krishna's mercy. And he would savor every bite. Srila Prabhupada was focused on what he wanted to do from the very beginning at 26 2nd Avenue, which is just in the Lower East Side of Manhattan. All these people were coming. They were mostly strung out hippies on drugs, so many different things. Some of them, most of them from affluent families, educated, but they were all experimenting, trying to find something else. But Srila Prabhupada was focused. He would be very clear about his message. He wasn't willing to bend. He was saying to them, no intoxication. Everyone was intoxicated. No illicit sex. They were all engaging in so many activities. No meat eating. They came from meat-eating families. Prabhupada was so determined and so focused that he just gave the message as it is. And guess what? Because he was so pure in heart, people heard it and they accepted it. And so his focus was so clear. He was up every morning early translating. I was just hearing today from the Leelamrita audio book. Prabhupada had a trunk full of manuscripts. They hadn't been put into print. They hadn't been put together, hadn't created any book. Every day he was focused on translating the Srimad Bhagavatam, which we now have because of his steady focus, rising every single day and being completely committed and focused on doing this. Because he had clarity of purpose. Someone else would like to read?
Clarity of the purpose. That refers to the deep understanding of your goals and the reasons behind them.
So this is something that we often can't really generate. But if we can generate clarity of purpose, then we can actually develop deep determination. And we can become very focused. Without this as a guiding principle, it's going to be very difficult. And any organization, corporate that you work for these days, they always have a mission statement. They have a vision statement. They're creating clarity of purpose. Srila Prabhupada in 1966 in the Lower East Side of Manhattan with a group of young people, he started the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, and these boys and girls were laughing. They're like, Swami, we've got a little shop in the Lower East Side of New York City. What is international? What was his statement? Merely time separates. So many things are coming in the future. He was so clear. The purpose. And he created a charter with 7 purposes of Iskcon, which now, almost 60 years later, is still the clear purpose and charter for Iskcon. And if we think Srila Prabhupada, who is here, personally present, if he was able to speak, just think, 60 years later, I think it's how amazed he would be by the things. Now, many of you are coming from India, I imagine different parts of India. Especially in the last number of years, India has been booming. Iskcon is growing like anything, especially in India. But it's all over the world, literally anywhere you go. And Prabhupada has created this clarity of purpose for all of us, and he was so clear. Sitting on a park bench in Tompkins Square Park, he said to some man he didn't even know, Jewish train driver, And he said, what do you do? And he said, I have temples, I have devotees, I have books, so many of these things. And he said, but where are they? And he said again, merely time separates. He was so clear and focused and determined. Bless you. May Krishna continue to bless you with pure devotional service. So the other one, Srila Prabhupada was non-judgmental. Anyone here feels like sometimes they're a little judgmental? Be honest all the time. Thank you for your honesty. Yeah. Most of the time we're like, I don't like this one. Who here judges books by the cover even though they know they shouldn't? Who here doesn't like to be judged? If you don't raise your hand, I know you're a liar. Nobody likes to be judged. But somehow or other, we're often very judgmental. Srila Prabhupada was so remarkable in his ability to not be judgmental. Someone would like to read?
Non-judgmental is avoiding judgments based on one's personal and especially moral standards.
Srila Prabhupada came from a very strict Vaishnava family. He never ate meat, never took any intoxication, not even tea or coffee, never had any illicit sexual engagements, gambling, didn't gamble. He grew up watching his father worship the deities as he was falling asleep. He got his own deities at a very young age and started worshiping them. Like, that was what was on his Christmas list, right? You know, what he wanted. At the age of like 5 or 7, he wanted to hold a Rath Yatra festival where he lived, just a small, that's what he wanted to do. He was so pure. The thing with purity is that often people who are very pure are also a little bit judgmental. There's a mentality which is called the smarta mentality, right? I know better. You know, I know better than you. I know better than everyone. So this is kind of mentality that can come from someone who is so, look at Prabhupada, he looks so regal, right? And they say that he used to walk like this. Prabhupada wasn't encouraging people to be proud, but he said you can be proud of one thing. You can be proud to be the disciple of your spiritual master, to be the servant of your spiritual master. Srila Prabhupada was non-judgmental. He was dealing with so many people whom would be considered by strict Brahmin standards as worse than outcasts, malechas, meat eaters, women hunters, drinkers, so many different things. And Prabhupada was sitting amongst these people and encouraging them. There's this concept he initiated. He said we have to fan the spark. So he was seeing the spark, the glorious spark of Krishna in everyone. And he was understanding that everyone is a divine spark of the splendor of God. And if we fan that spark, you know, when a fire is just starting, you have to, sometimes we blow on it, but we generally shouldn't do that. But if you fan it, then it starts to get bigger. So Srila Prabhupada was so expert at fanning that spark. In fact, we were hearing one talk from a lady named Jadurani. She was one of the first artists. She was telling how Mukunda came to her and said, "What is your talent? What is your gift?" And she said, "I don't know. I'm only 19 years old." And she thought, when I was a kid, I liked to draw and paint. And so she told him, and she went back, Mukunda went to Prabhupada, and Prabhupada said, "Oh, she should paint pictures for Krishna." So he came back to her and told her this, and she said, "Okay." And they immediately got her to start painting. Her first work was not so good, but still they hung it up on the wall. Prabhupada didn't say, "God, that's terrible. That's definitely not your gift," right? Which is probably what I would have said. But now she's one of the most proficient artists. And actually in the books, many of the paintings in the books are done by her. The entire first Krishna book, all the paintings were done by her. So Prabhupada just fanned that spark. He was non-judgmental. He was just trying to see Krishna's hand. And he was always also seeing the devotees, seeing these people as being sent by his guru. So there's a saying that we learn from our teachers, we learn from our peers, but most we learn from our students. The last one was humble. Who would like to read this?
Humble. Humility means that one should not be anxious to have the satisfaction of being honored by others.
So this definition is taken from the Bhagavad Gita. Humility means that one should not be anxious to have the satisfaction of being honored by others. Srila Prabhupada was so humble that he had to teach these young boys and girls how to worship him as a guru. That doesn't sound very humble, does it? Right? Who here knows, if a guru comes in, what are you supposed to do? Pay obeisances, offer respects, bow down, right? So this is the culture. Why? Because that person is like, if you don't do it, you're going to hell or something like that? No, it's part of the culture because this is how we get knowledge, by humbling ourselves. So Srila Prabhupada was so humble that he was able to teach these boys and girls how to offer, how to become humble. They say that the greatest leaders are the best followers. So Srila Prabhupada was also such a respectful student and disciple of his guru, so dedicated to his guru that he was able to teach others. He was perpetually telling all of these students that actually you have been sent here by my Guru Maharaj, and he was offering respect to them. He was perpetually saying that nothing that has happened here, all the success that he achieved in the short time that he was here, has not happened because of me, it's happened because of Krishna. It's happened because of the mercy of my spiritual master. It's happened because of you and you. And he was giving all credit, always giving the credit away to someone else. He never accepted that this has happened because I'm a great man, and therefore you should bow down to me. That was not his mood. His mood was just the opposite. And because he was so humble, it commanded respect. You know this statement? You can demand respect or you can command respect. He wasn't demanding anything, but his humility commanded respect. And this is something that's very often missing in the corporate sector because people think you have to demand and push and force. I think actually when I was being introduced, Sankirtan Acharya Prabhu said that I made people be a loving community. And I was thinking, I can hardly make myself get out of bed. What to speak of make someone else anything? We can't make anybody do anything. Maybe if you have a gun, but Srila Prabhupada didn't have a gun. People, he inspired people. He created inspiration. So Srila Prabhupada was humble. Of course, these are the 5 qualities. We're going to discuss those a little bit more in depth. But there's one quality also that Srila Prabhupada had that is the predominant quality. And that predominant quality is that he had unflinching faith in Krishna. If I'm not mistaken, I think this picture was taken. This is Shishi Radha Govinda Dev from here. Srila Prabhupada had unflinching. What does it mean, unflinching? What does unflinching mean? Beautiful. I like that. Cannot be shaken no matter what. So flinching, when you flinch, that means you like blink your eye, right? You know, if someone comes up to you and they're just like talking and they go, hey, he was unflinching. He didn't even flinch. So usually if someone makes a loud noise, hey, you know, you wince. That's flinching. But you can only be unflinching. Your unflinchingness can only be proven in the presence of things that make you flinch. And in the face of opposition, you don't give up. You remain determined. You remain focused. You remain clear. This is unflinching. So Srila Prabhupada had unflinching faith in Krishna, that actually Krishna has brought me here. Krishna is orchestrating everything. I'm just trying to be the humble servant and actually act in accordance with my spiritual master and teach others. So like this. So this was the true gift that Srila Prabhupada had, that is one that probably most of us will have to work on for some time. So I thought it would be very nice if we have time. I was told it was okay to go until 8:30. Is that correct, Arjuna Nanpro? I don't want to get in trouble. Okay, so I'm going to allow 5 minutes. If anyone has any question or reflection, quickly now. Anyone? Anything they would like to say or share, ask? Okay, perfect. So then what we're going to do is now we're going to break into groups. And you're going to do some group work, okay? And this will help you to become unflinching in your ability to interact with other jivas, okay? So we're going to have 5 groups. How many people are here? Okay, and we're going to move around a little bit in the room. So we're going to count you off. Just count 1 to 5 and then start again. Everybody knows how this works, right? So we're going to test your intelligence and ability to count off and not mess up, all right?
1,
2, 3.
Are the people on the back bench participating? Okay. Give yourselves a round of applause. I've never seen this many people do that so expertly. Please, clap. It's okay. Okay. So we're going to have group 1s over here, 2s here, 3s here, 4 there, and 5 here. So you can now move and go get in your group. 1, 2, 3, 4 next to Jagannath at the back, and 5 over there. Haribol Pruji. Okay, if we can be quick and then you can sit down, just get in your group, set in a circle. Okay. You can sit. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so group 1, your quality is determined. Okay, your quality is determined. Group 2, your quality is focused. Group 3, your quality is clarity of purpose Oh, this says sublime on there. Anyone remembers what number 4 was? Non-judgmental. Very good. Thank you. And number 5 is humble. So what I would like for you to do is take this quality and amongst yourselves discuss how you think this could be incorporated into your lives to help you to also be successful in life. How Srila Prabhupada serves as a good role model that determined what we could apply through being determined, what we could apply through being focused, clarity of purpose, and how we can do that. So the benefit and how. Does that make sense? Okay. And then we go for 4. Yours is non-judgmental. And to do that, you may also need to discuss sometimes where we are judgmental and how that didn't work or how we can improve it. So we're just going to give you about 10 minutes. It's not a lot of time, but 10 or 12 minutes to discuss this. And then you have to choose one spokesperson from your group to just give a little feedback from what you all discussed. Is that okay? All right, so you've got 10 minutes. Please go. Sounds awfully quiet for people who are meant to be talking. So please remember to allow others to share in the group. Make sure there's no like one person who's taking full ownership. Make sure everyone gets a voice. And remember to choose your person to present. And we're looking at how we can make this quality impactful in our lives like that. Okay, you got 1 more minute, and then you have to choose your person to come and speak on behalf of your team. 1 minute. Okay, so we're going to stop now. Hopefully you have your representative chosen. So before we move on to the next part, I would just like to thank the devotees who organize these events for putting this together. I've understood that today is the 27th monthly youth gathering like this. Big round of applause. That's amazing. So for 2 years they've been doing it. And I would like to specifically thank Arjuna Nand Prabhu, Sankirtan Acharya Prabhus, who are bringing all the devotees together and working so hard to make this happen. They're very determined, they're very focused, they're clear on the purpose, all of the above. So group number 1, please, if you can have your representative, please come to the front and share with us some of your wisdom.
So our group came upon 5 points about determined. So first we discuss about discipline. So how discipline brings good, better quality of life, and it ensures that our tasks are achieved on like proper schedule, and which builds self-control, and it reduces stress also. So as you are not delaying your task. This was the first point. Then there should be a purpose, which is like clarity of goal sort of thing. But like you should be motivated and you should have a direction where you need to go, which helps in keeping you again motivated and stop wasting time in unwanted things or the works. Then we came about principles, how to follow values. Like we discuss about the 4 regulatory principles that we follow in Iskcon and how it can improve the quality of life. Then we discuss about balance, how work and your life should be balanced, work-life balance should be maintained. You should not like delay a task and it bring peace to you. And how it can help is like it can help in your health. Just to like improve your health, you should be like go on a like schedule, so it would help you. Then the 5th point that we discussed about was procrastination. We have a tendency to delay things. No, I'll not do this. I'll do it later. I'll do it later. So that should be stopped, as it helps us to increase our productivity and build confidence to face challenges.
What is your name, Prabhu? Okay, Hari. So thank you very much, Hari. That was a great group. You were really getting into depth. Okay, group number 2. Who is your representative? Okay, we have a tag team.
Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada. So firstly we started, our topic was focused. I am not that focused. So what we tried to learn from is Srila Prabhupada's quality of being focused. So we spoke of examples. One of the examples was how he was always within people that were distracting him. He was in New York City, but he was still studying, he was doing his sadhana, he was writing his books. Then we spoke of the example, Prabhuji gave an example of where once Prabhupada spoke in front of drug addicts and drunk people in a bar somewhere in San Francisco. This was a dance club. But he was focused. He knew what his goal was. All of these qualities, as of course, they complement each other when you build on them. So when he was focused, he knew what his unflinching faith in Krishna and the words of his guru were. So the benefits and how what we discussed, Prabhu, can you?
So hi everyone, Hare Krishna. For the how part, we just discussed that we can achieve focus by first defining our vision clearly, because if we define our vision clearly, we get the motivation that drives us towards our goals and keeps us keep going continuously. And the other thing was, how many of you have tried the 21-day challenge here? Just one. Okay. So it's a challenge related to your habits. So if you keep on doing something for 21 days, uh, on the 22nd day, it will be normal to you. And someone from our team also mentioned about association, so I would just like to mention about that. It's like the people around you matters a lot when it comes to focus, because it's very simple. If you be around five smart people, you'll be the sixth one. If you be around five spiritual people, you'll be the sixth one. So company matters when it comes to focus. And sorry, yeah, you can just divide your goals into sprints. I know many people are here from engineering background, so know what sprints are, so you can just plan it accordingly. And yeah, that's how we can increase our focus, and the benefits are obviously increased productivity. And yeah, that's it. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
What is your name, Prabhu?
Aviraj.
Happy Raj. Havi. Okay, so thank you, Havi Raj, and thank you, Rishikesh. Focus, and now we're going to our next representative. Okay, and you're going to give us clarity. So just a quick lesson. I hold it probably too close, but it's better to hold the mic as close to your mouth as possible. Sometimes if you talk like this, no one can hear them, so.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. So basically, we group 3, we're discussing about the clarity of purpose. So this is a very simple topic actually. So this means like why we do what we do. Basically, most of us are working professionals and students. So generally, we should have all the we all have this vision of what we're doing after graduation, or what we're doing after earning, or like even after earning, what we're doing. So Prabhupada, when he was on his way to US, carrying the mission of his spiritual master, he suffered multiple heart attacks. So if he do not have the clarity of his purpose, like why he came here on his like 70s, then the mission would not have fulfilled, and we will not be present here right now. So he was very clear on his purpose, and he was very clear that he was only fulfilling the mission of his spiritual master. So like Srila Prabhupada, we should all have this clarity. Like we should be very clear on our purpose. Like when Prabhuji of our group was mentioning about eating habit. So if we do not have the goal of being healthy, then why do we care about eating healthy food and unhealthy? We can just go anywhere and eat anything. Like in Iskcon, we follow 4 regulative principles. Why are we following? Should have the purpose. Okay, by following this, we should go to this destination, or we should go to this consciousness, or we should be elevated. If we don't have this purpose, and we just simply say, okay, no meat eating, no gambling, then what's the purpose? What's the point if we do not have the clarity? So we should always have like clarity in whatever we're doing. Like studying in college, we should know where we are going after graduation. If we do not know, we just like go on studying like physics, chemistry, biology, anything like all at a random. Then what is the point? And there would be no test. There would be test for a few semesters, but after that, no. Like what are we doing? So should have clarity in purpose. And Asimananda Prabhu was mentioning this example. One day, Lord Buddha, he instructs his disciple, go and get some fresh water. And then his disciple went to a pond, and he saw like the water was shaking and it was kind of muddy. So he didn't know like whether he should take that water or not, because it was not clear. And he went back to Buddha and says, my Lord, I cannot find the clear water. What should I do? And Lord Buddha instructed, go there and wait for a while. When you wait for a while, the second water will come. And when you get clear water, bring that clear water to me. So he went back to the pond, and he sees like, okay, he wait for a while, and then he saw the water was very clear. And then he brought the water back from the pond. So Lord Buddha says, like, if you wait for a while and if you see the purpose, why we go, why he has gone to there? What was his purpose? Was it to bring the clear water, or was it to fulfill the desire of his spiritual master? He was there not for his own will. He was there to fulfill the desire of his spiritual master. So he has his purpose. Okay, my spiritual master says I have to wait. Then he waited. So like this, there are many examples, but yeah, we need to be very clear on our purpose. Thank you.
So thank you, Sandesh Prabhu. Okay, so we're going to have to make them a little quicker. I forgot how devotees like to speak. So if you can keep it to 1 minute, that would be good, because I think we're going to have kirtan, right? Everyone would like to have kirtan for the deities while the curtains are open. So.
Hi, I'm Rishi from Group 4. Our topic of discussion was non-judgmental, and to define judgment it's basically a prediction about a person that we make, which dictates our future engagement with said person. So, and the judgment and the prediction is based on what we see and what we observe about the person. So if we see that they have a cigarette in their hand, we're going to know that, oh yeah, this person is a smoker, and that's the kind of category or the box that we put them in. So judgment usually comes in many flavors, so we like to put them in categories based on race, based on habits, based on caste, and number of categories, right? And the most broad category that exists is to put them in good or bad. So that's what judgment is. And it comes from a place of, I forget the word for it, but essentially effectiveness, insecurity, maybe. Also, I was going to say efficiency, because you want to make quick judgments, and that's what's going to be beneficial. It's a survival mechanism, because if you see a cat, the next time you see something that looks similar, you want to know how you're going to interact with it and what it's going to do. So judgment does have its benefits, but it very quickly closes doors and leads you to be close-minded if you believe that the first judgment or the box that you put them in does not change. So the benefit of being non-judgmental is twofold. So one, it opens doors, because if you don't say that this person is always going to be a smoker, then you're going to be more open towards them, you're going to be more receiving towards them. Imagine if you put somebody in a judgment of they're bad, in which case you're not going to want to associate with them, which they might have their own reasons for doing something that they did, right? So even in the case of Srila Prabhupada, like how Prabhu was presenting, if he judged people coming from a very orthodox Vaishnavite family, if he came and judged all the smokers, the drinkers, and all the people who very easily would be put into the category of bad, he wouldn't have engaged with them and tried to fan the flames of Krishna within them, right? So that's the benefit. You see the hidden potential in people and the things that you would have never seen otherwise if you're non-judgmental, so opens doors. The second one is being non-judgmental towards yourself, and this many people end up doing, where they see that, oh, if I don't like this thing, they form judgments about themselves, and they start believing in it, like, I'm not this kind of a person, I don't do this, I can't do this, and so on and so forth. And same principle applies. You close doors without even you realizing it, right? And coming to how we can be non-judgmental, the first one is being more empathetic. So if you see a person, the first thing that you see about them is something negative, instead of just like looking at it, you want to think about their position. Like maybe you give them a benefit of doubt. You don't know why they're doing this. They might have a certain reason for doing this, or maybe they have their own stance, right? So if you're more empathetic, it helps you reduce the amount of judgment that you do when you're interacting with the said person. That's one. And you can also be very empathetic towards yourself. And that is something that can be learned for all of us because it really helps with your quality of life. And the second one is learning from the scriptures itself, right? So in the Bhagavad Gita, recently in the Friday classes, we were discussing that we are all the same, part and parcel of Krishna, and all our bodies are just a garment. We change it in every lifetime. So again, don't judge a book by the cover. Why are you judging somebody by their skin, by their caste, even by the beliefs they hold, right? Because when they die, everything is gone, including their mind and all the things about them. So if you don't judge a person, like the pinnacle of non-judgmental is you look everybody as part and parcel of Krishna, which lets you be the most open-minded. Thank you very much. That was my presentation. Rishi.
Thank you very much, Rishi. That was amazing. And then the final one, if we can try to keep it a little brief.
Good evening, everybody. Hare Krishna. I am Ishika, and I'll be speaking for Group 5, Humble. And our question was how being humble adds up to a successful life, or how you become successful being a humble person. The word itself is really small and everybody believes that they are humble, but when you become a successful person, it's really hard to be a humble person, and not everybody who's successful is a humble person. So this is the 5 points that we discussed was openness to learning. I think being a humble person makes you recognize that you don't know everything, and no matter how successful you get in life, there will be always something that you don't know. So being a humble person makes you drawn towards knowledge, and that way you keep learning your entire life. The second is stronger relationship. People are naturally drawn towards people who listen, who value others' opinion, and a good leader is always somebody who treats everybody as equal, his teammates as equal. So being a humble person sort of strengthens your relationship with your peers, with your family, with everybody around you. Next is resilience. A humble person doesn't see failure as a setback. They're always ready for what's coming. They're always grateful for what they have, and it's easy for them to see it as a chance to improve themselves, and with that mindset, they always keep on growing and nourishing. And the last is leadership. Humble leaders always inspire people, and they always lift everybody along with themselves instead of just hopping onto themselves. So that's it. Thank you.
Ishika. So thank you very much. That was really amazing. Actually, such great presentations. I wish now, and I'll know for next time if they invite me back, that we should spend more time doing this. I hope you all had a really wonderful time this evening. It's been a great honor and pleasure for me to be here with you and to discuss Srila Prabhupada, one of my most favorite topics. Please, if you get a chance, come to 26 2nd Avenue, where it all began. It's a really beautiful place to be and experience Srila Prabhupada in the early days. Thank you very much, Sankirtan Acharya Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Let's thank His Grace Nitai Prabhu with 3 loud Hari Bols. Hari Bol! Hari Bol! Hari Bol!
3 loud Hari Bols for all of you.
Hari Bol! Hari Bol! Hari Bol! Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for leading into such a thoughtful and engaging session. And I think you all will agree, who have visited in MBIF before, that this was the most engaging kind of session we had in some time now. So thank you so much, Prabhu. And so Prabhuji is in the management committee and the board of 26 2nd Avenue, which is the birthplace of Iskcon, right? And he is the man behind the entire renovation which is going on. So 26 2nd Avenue is not very far away from Brooklyn Temple. If you have time, in the morning, any day of the week, Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 11:30 a.m., you can visit there. And we have a program on Wednesday as well, which is where a short program of what we had today. You know, we read about Prabhupada's Leela when he was here in the United States or when he was on this earth, and what activities he performed with his devotees. And yeah, and then there's, of course, prasadam over there. Yeah. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for leading us and making us love Srila Prabhupada again. So thank you so much. So some quick announcements. First of all, I would like to thank many devotees who were tirelessly working in making prasadam in the kitchen downstairs since noon. So the team was led by Shri Gopal Pran Prabhu, and many devotees who are sitting over here were part of the team. So we are very happy to maintain this program and actually announce this program as the student-run initiative. The entire program, end-to-end management, is handled by working professionals and students like me, you, and the prasadam, bhoga shopping, cooking, then serving, maintaining or setting up this place, calling you people in for the program, asking and inviting great souls like Nitai Prabhu to this program. Everything is done by the volunteers. No one is paid over here. So if you're inspired to participate and help us make this program even bigger, so please contact me, Arjunanand Prabhu, or anyone you see wearing Inspire t-shirt. So like Keshav Kumar Prabhu, who's back handling the mic system and everything. So thank you all the volunteers. I would love to take your names individually, but unfortunately I don't have the slides or time to do that, but we all love you. Thank you so much. Yeah. Now we will move into the second last segment of this event, which is the dancing kirtan, right? We heard a lot about Srila Prabhupada, and the essence of Krishna consciousness movement is Sankirtan, right? So we all have to get together, chant, and dance on the holy name of the Lord. Why? Because that will give pleasure to the supreme deities, right? So I'll request Nitai Prabhu, who's again, if he's okay to lead the kirtan, and he's known in Iskcon for his kirtan, of course, with his knowledge on various topics like community care. So. Yeah, we'll request Prabhu. And the kirtan will last for roughly 15 minutes, and after that we can head down to the Balram Hall to enjoy the feast cooked by all the volunteers. Thank you so much. Hari Bol.